How's it, everybody? Rendog here with another episode from the HermitCraft server. And I can hear a bunch of you guys in the comments right now saying, yo, Ren, another episode so quick? Take it easy, man. You're making too many videos. Oh man, listen guys, I'm trying very hard to meet my pledge that I made in the previous episode, which was to try and make a few episodes a week so that I could get back into a mindset of production. And well, that's exactly what I'm trying to do here, man. On top of that, man, I had such a weird day today, guys. I've just got back from the new house and I have the weirdest story to tell you. And well, it's like late evening now. It's about 8 or 9 p.m. and I just have to record this video. I have to tell you about what happened today because it was pretty weird. Anyway, we're kicking things off here in the pavilion of our boat race course with Etho, and in this episode, I would like to try and finish off this pavilion build if possible. I probably can't do that tonight, but I'll try get it done tomorrow. But one of the goals for the episode is going to be to finish the pavilion, I think, because, you know, this place has remained unfinished for too long. I mean, you can feel the ice cold breeze going into this pavilion. It's supposed to be nice and warm and cozy in here. So yeah, aim for the video is to complete the pavilion. That's going to be our primary goal for today. And you know what? It shouldn't actually be too difficult to do. I just need to build up some of these walls. I need to finish off the roof. But I've made this build quite symmetrical, so to get it finished will just be a bunch of like mindless block placing, and it shouldn't take me too long to do that. So I'll probably get that done tomorrow. And then Etho and I will finally have a place to call sort of the home of the boat race out here in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, I think it's time we finally get this pavilion done, guys. That's going to be the plan for this episode. Although before we start working on the pavilion, I'd like to spend an hour or so this evening doing some terraforming over at the start of the race, which is where we were working in the last episode. We made some really great progress at the start area last time, and the other side of the track is kind of bothering me right now because it's not finished, and I don't think I can move away from this area until I actually finish both sides of this massive part of the track. So that's what I'd like to do for the next hour or so, and while I'm doing that, I want to tell you guys about this really, really weird story that happened to me today. Yeah, we'll just go place some blocks down at the racetrack, and then it's story time with Rendog, although, is that a cat that I can hear? Wait, what the heck? Did Etho bring some cats over here? What's going on here, man? Cats don't spawn in tundras, do they? Hello? Kitters? Kitters? I can hear you. Where are you? Kitters! Oh my goodness, it's a snow kitters. No wonder I couldn't see this little cutie pie, man. He was completely invisible and camouflaged amongst the snow other than the two different colored eyeballs. Oh, he's adorable. Oh, geez. Sorry, guys. It looks like we've been distracted already. I'm gonna need to tame the snow kitters. It's an inevitability and it has to happen. Because honestly, this is so weird right now that I'm not exactly sure how to explain it. All I know is I must tame this snow kitters, and I must do it ASAP. How do I explain this without looking like I've completely lost my marbles right now? Okay, you see, today in real life, I actually met a real life kitters while I was working on the garden over at the new house. And that's the story that I wanted to tell you about. And now finding this snow kitters in Minecraft when I'm trying to record the episode that I'm going to be talking about kitters in, it's honestly a trip, guys. I gotta tell you, man, this is freaking me out a little bit. Anyway, let's see if we can get some fresh fish out of the frozen racetrack and see if we can tame this kitty. I mean, there isn't a kitters on this planet or in the Gigaverse that doesn't love a frozen fish stickle. Am I right, my dudes? And I mean, these fish stickles are as fresh as they freaking come up. I'm almost drowning trying to collect these things for the snow kitters, man. I hope he's grateful. Sheesh. Come on, Snowy, have a fish stickle. It's absolutely delicious, I promise. Let's be friends. It's destiny, I tell you, you crazy cute kitters. Snowy, yes, he loves us. Oh, amazing. I knew he loved fish stickles. I mean, what kitters doesn't, am I right? Anyway, I think this is our first pet in Season 9, guys. I can't really remember. Maybe some of you guys can help me confirm, but dang, it's actually awesome to have a kitters now. as a companion in the game to keep us safe from creepers and just be ridiculously cute. And oh my goodness, and Snowy sleeping on our lap. Okay, that's cuteness overload, guys. I need a minute, man. I need to catch my breath over here. Sheesh. Talk about mega distractions today. What the heck, Snowy? This is all your fault. Alright, my peoples, let's focus up and try make some actual progress out here today, shall we? We've been heavily distracted and, well, I haven't actually been at my computer today because today I went over to the new house to start working on the garden areas and to also take inventory for the estate agent. I spoke about this in the previous episode, and I went over there bright and early to go through what was maybe 60 pages of inventory and thoroughly went through every single room in the house, making notes of any dents in the wall or any scratches or anything that was left there by the previous tenant. Had to test all of the plugs in the wall also, open every single cupboard, test every single key. And as I think I told you last time around, there's about 15 keys. All unmarked. They're all basically the same looking key. So it was quite a pain to try figure out which key went where, but I did manage to separate them off the key ring and I started to label them with little colored things. And wow, this has already begun as a very adult story. I am very sorry about that, guys, but don't worry. This story gets very weird very quick. So please do stick around. I hope you got a tasty beverage. I've got a delicious cup of tea over here. And yeah, we got Snowy with us this evening also while we work out here at the race course a bit. But yeah, very interesting day that I had today, guys. It was a very nice day weather-wise. The sun was out, there was a slight breeze, and it was a little bit cooler. And so I thought I would take today to go and do a little bit of gardening out there. The front of the house has a very small garden. It's a tiny little lawn with a little tree in the middle of it. The lawn is probably 2 meters by 3 meters, something like that, with a nice little tree in the middle. And then there's a boundary of flower beds that actually touch the pavement of the road. So when you're walking along the pavement up this road, you walk past the front of my house, and the front garden is on the pavement. And at the moment, those flower beds are completely, or they were, until I got my paws on them, they were completely weeded over. The lawn was about a foot high with weeds in it. And honestly, it was a bit of an eyesore for the neighborhood. And, you know, being the next tenant of the place, I'm actually been mildly embarrassed so far in the month of May. Oh, but before I get too deep into this very weird story, guys, I just want to take a quick moment to say a very special thank you to all of you guys who have been supporting me financially over the last couple of weeks. I've been getting a few super chats in and some Twitch subscriptions and some direct donations on PayPal and whatnot. You know who you are out there who have been just incredibly generous. And I just want to thank you guys for it. And you know, I always feel a bit uncomfortable talking about this sort of thing on my YouTube channel. And I don't usually mention it, but I just I thought that it would be prudent because not only have you guys been helping me get through this month mentally, but you guys have also been helping me financially. And of course, it's been a bit of a slower period for me, having not made much content over the last few weeks or so. And, you know, thanks to all of your guys' support, yesterday I managed to book a local moving company at short notice to help me move all of my furniture in the last week of May. And that was all off the back of your guys' support. So thank you very much, guys, for enabling me to do that and taking a huge weight off of my shoulders. I've now booked in the furniture movers, and that's just a huge concern and a huge worry that I don't have to think about anymore. And that's thanks to all of your amazing generosity. So thank you guys very, very much. Okay, where were we? Yes, we're at the new house, aren't we? Yes, so this morning I went over there to take the inventory, which is the first thing that I did when I got there. And that didn't take me as long as I thought it would, because, you know, once you get into the flow of the whole situation, then it does go quite quickly. I also got like some really great hints and tips from some of you guys who have done a lot of moving also. And one of you guys suggested that what I should do is actually film the entire house from the entrance all the way through the house and all the way upstairs, and just sort of film everything with my camera phone so that in a few years' time, I have actual video evidence of the way that the house looked, and I thought that was a great idea. So I also did that, and then I started to work in the gardens. And as I mentioned, my plan was to just try get the front garden to a decent state to a state where neighbors, wouldn't sort of roll their eyes as they walked past my house. So I wasn't going to make the garden look incredible. That's going to take probably a week or two to get it looking amazing. But just mow the lawn, de-weed the place, and get it looking a little bit decent. Now, I've also got a small lawn at the house that I'm currently living in. And yes, for those of you who are wondering, I am currently double renting right now. I'm currently in the last month of rental for the house that I have been in for the last 2 years, and the house that I'm talking to you from now. And I'm also renting the new house at the same time. So this has been probably the most expensive rent month of my entire life. But you know what? I don't want to talk about that. That kind of makes me panic a little bit. Let's talk about the garden again, shall we? Yes, let's go back to garden. So anyway, I do have a lawn here at my current house, and I have a lawnmower too, an electric lawnmower. So I packed that into the back of my car and yoinked the lawnmower up to the new place. And my plan was to try and yoink out as many of the weeds as possible with a fork and then mow the lawn and get it looking into a decent state. So that was my plan for the morning. I put my hat on, I put some sun cream on. I was going to be in the garden for probably half of the day. And I was honestly looking forward to it. It's quite nice to sort of clean something up that's in a little bit of a mess. Once you've cleaned it, it's kind of like a very, satisfying feeling. If you clean up your room or your office or whatever, afterwards you look at it and you're like, I did this. This looks really nice. I mean, I even get that feeling when I wash the dishes, but I'm a little bit weird when it comes to that sort of thing. Anyway, it was a very simple plan. Sort the garden out. However, something very strange started to happen that, just like what happened in this episode this evening, happened to me also a little bit in real life. You see, as I went to plug in my electric lawnmower in the outdoor plug that's situated on the side of the house, there was something that flashed past me as I turned around the corner to plug in the cable. It was just in the corner of my eye, a fluttering, if you will. And I thought it was a bird or maybe a leaf in the wind or something like that, And I didn't think too much of it. And I plugged in the lawnmower and I started mowing one side of the lawn. And as I was pushing the lawnmower forward, and then I turned around to, come back toward the center of this little lawn, there indeed was another little flash of something at the corner of the house, almost as if something had peered around the corner and then quickly disappeared again. Something had peeked their head around to have a look at what was going on. And to me, it looked like maybe it was like a fox or a mouse or something like that. And, I was like, okay, well, this is England. This is the sort of countryside. You're used to seeing things like that. In fact, in the first place that I lived in when I first moved out to England, I had a little hedgehog that lived in my garden. So I'm sort of used to seeing some animals around. So I was like, okay, whatever, won't disturb them or we'll let them be. Not a problem at all. Continued to mow the lawn and, push the lawnmower in the direction of where the little face was. And then I turned around and started mowing back again up the little section of lawn. Again, it was only going to take about 3 up and downs to finish this lawn. But by the time I had turned around again, I saw exactly what had been curiously looking at me from the corner of the house. And it was a really beautiful, cute little kitty cat. Obviously one of the neighborhood cats, brownish, dark brown, gingerish sort of cat with light brown eyebrows. And I was quite delighted to see this little critters. I'm a big fan of animals in general, and I love cats very, very much. And I thought to myself, oh, well, this is lovely. I've got a little friend who's going to be hanging out with me while I'm mowing the lawn, I continued to mow the lawn, and I thought maybe I didn't see the kitters again, and I guess the sound of the lawnmower was a bit distressing for the kitters, so they sort of disappeared for a bit. But once I'd mowed the lawn, it was time to start getting stuck into the flower beds. Now, the flower beds are divided into 2 little sections, and there's a walkway that goes through the flower beds to the entrance of the main house. And I started working on the one flower bed, which is very overgrown. Like I had to manually rip out a ton of weeds from each of these flower beds. So I decided I'd just sit down on the pavement in front of the flower bed with a box that I would put all the weeds into. And I just started casually yoinking the weeds out and sort of fluffing up the soil a little bit, cleaning everything up. I had my headphones on, I was listening to some music, had my sunglasses on in the sunshine. It was great, man. I was having a really nice time sort of sorting out this little flower bed. And as I was sort of getting halfway through the first flower bed, something caught my eye again, and I looked to the right, and there in and amongst the overgrown second flower bed was the Kitters again. I just saw this little face peering at me from behind, I think it's a rose bush. The little Kitters had sort of hidden themselves inside of the weeds and the flowers of this overgrown flower bed and was just watching me, you know, and obviously they thought that maybe I couldn't see them. But all I saw was this little face peering at me through, you know, these massive weeds. And, you know, when I saw that little face just watching me calmly from in and amongst those weeds, I actually had to stop and take a breath because it took me right back to the times where I used to work in my garden here at my current house, and my little boy Obi used to sit on the other side of the lawn in the sunshine and just watch me. And I did quite a lot of work in the garden here during the summertime. I'd mow the lawns and tend to the flower beds and things like that. And, you know, Obi would always come with me into the garden, and he would always just enjoy his time in the sun, and he would never get too close. He was always a little bit worried, I guess, about what I was doing. You know, he didn't really know what I was doing, sort of digging around in the garden. And but he was still really curious, so he would just go and find a little spot, maybe in some taller grass, and he would just sit there in the shade or in the sun, depending how hot it was, and just watch his papa. And every now and then he would sort of roll around in the grass and, you know, get some sun on his belly. And seeing that little Kitters, you know, kind of hit me hard, and I needed to take a quick breath and wipe my eyes a bit. And you know, I don't really believe in anything supernatural and whatnot, but at the time it made me feel better, thinking that, you know, maybe my little boy and this Kitters were somehow together in that moment, sitting in that flower bed watching me pull out weeds. And for a moment or two, I felt like he was there with me again. And it was actually really nice feeling. And, you know, for the rest of the afternoon, I carried on working on the flower bed. I got both of the flower beds looking really good. I got the lawn mowed. I cleared away all of the debris and the rubbish and got the front house looking exactly how I wanted it to look. And, you know, I worked out there for maybe 3 and 4 hours, and that little Kitters just hung around for the entire time, whether they were in that little shrub or just sitting, you know, further away behind the house where they first peered around the corner. And at one point they even just sort of went and sat on a part of the lawn that I'd mowed. They just hung out with me for a bit. And yeah, it was really, really awesome. And of course, as a responsible pet owner myself, guys, I 100% understand that you should not give attention to neighborhood cats. You shouldn't feed them and so on, because if you give them too much love, they might choose you over their owners, and, you know, that's really unfair over the owners. So, you know, I didn't interact with the Kitters in any way. I didn't give them attention or any food, and nor shall I. But I do hope that every now and then when I move into my new place, that when I'm in the garden or working on the flower beds outside, I might see a little face peering at me from around the house, or, you know, chilling on my lawn in the mornings when I come out to have a cup of coffee or something. That would be something that would be really special to me, because today in that moment I feel like there was some sort of a link between me and the Kitters and my boy. And whether or not that is true is irrelevant. It made me feel good and made me feel happy, man. And it was really, really nice. And yeah, so that's what happened to me today, guys. So weird. I had to come straight back home and record this episode for you guys to tell you the story. And that's why I was freaking out about Snowy, man. Like, what a crazy, weird coincidence, you know? And I know in my heart of hearts that all of these coincidences that happened today were just that, very lucky coincidences. A part of me is also very happy to just assume that there was something more spiritual going on. And for the first time since I said goodbye last month, I kind of feel like he is here with me today. And it's really, really nice. Aha! Progress! Again! It's the next day in real life, guys. And, well, yesterday, Snowy and we may have gotten a little bit carried away with finishing off the pavilion. And I was hoping to get this episode out to you guys a little bit sooner this week. But you know what? This cat and we just had so much fun putting this episode together that we just carried on going. And, I had a great time putting together that montage too. Can you tell that I've been watching a lot of Let's Play Minecraft Season 2 with Etho? Yeah. Hope you enjoyed the montage, guys. Had a lot of fun throwing that one together, and great news! As we can see, lots and lots of progress has been done on the pavilion. It's almost finished. There's still a few gaps and holes and things that need to be filled in, but I finished off the roof and I finished off all of the walls. And it's looking pretty awesome if you ask me. Yeah, interior still has a lot left to be desired, and yeah, need to fix up these little window areas here too. And that's going to be the next task for this project. Get the interior looking awesome. I think I want to put the nether portal in here and some sort of a leaderboard or trophy room for our racers. Something like that. Lots and lots of potential for the interior at some point. And I still need to work a little bit on this backside of the pavilion too. But what I'm very happy with is the snowbanks that I've added here to try and blend in the pavilion to the racecourse a bit. And I think it turned out real nice. I also used like half slab snow here kind of thing by basically just, you know, piling on 4 bits of snow like that to make a half slab of it. And that's kind of made the walkway of the pavilion a stair down to the snow kind of thing. You know, I kind of like that. It's almost like the snow has sort of blown up against the side of the building, and you know, there was a big snowstorm in the evening and you wake up nice and early in the morning to go racing, and you know, there's snow covering everything, and yeah, it's awesome, man. It's such a cozy vibe now, you know, now that the building is enclosed and looking great. This is exactly what I was going for. A nice, cozy loft building that the racers can come and chill in after a long day of racing on the icy river. You know, it's going to be very cold out there, man. All of that sort of negative 20-degree air blowing up in your face as you're racing. You want to come in here and maybe there'll be a big fire or something in here and everybody can come and hang out and talk about how fast they went around the course. Something like that. By the way, also did some very excellent progress out here on the other side of the race course. And yeah, I'm not entirely sure what you guys saw the last time I recorded here, but basically just sorted this entire area out, and we now have a very cool end to the track. So this is going to be the start of the race going in this direction, and it's eventually going to be coming out of here from Etho's section, and then coming into the final stretch, which is going to be a slight little bendy bit here, and then the finish line, I suppose, will be somewhere over here. And next step for this project, I think, is going to be to try and find a way to get the races to loop around here so that you can go back into the track. And I think what I'll do is just do like a circular loop here. And that way, once you come past the finish line here, you can either take another lap if you want, or you can clock in your time at the pavilion or something like that. But yeah, as you can see, guys, tons and tons of progress done on this section of the course. I'm very, very happy with how it's turned out. You know, still going to line it with trees or lampposts or billboards or something like that. But so far, so good. I am delighted with the start of the race. I think this is exactly where I wanted to be at the end of this episode. And yeah, I feel like I've made up for some lost time out here. And we can certainly carry on with this project now and try get it to a place over the next couple of months where we can actually start racing. That'd be absolutely amazing. But yeah, guys, listen, that's going to do it for today's episode. I don't really have anything else to show you here other than the awesome pavilion and this awesome little section of race course. It's been fantastic working on all of this, and what an absolute delight to have made a brand new little feline friend in Season 9, Snowy the Snowcat, who seems to have not follows us fast enough, or maybe just wants to go for a lap around the course right now. I think that's probably what Snowy's doing right now. But guys, thank you so very much for watching this episode. We will join you again in the next one pretty soon. Next episode will probably be my final episode from this house, from my old house, because the furniture movers are coming in about a week or so, and I'll be packing up my computers and my desks to get them over to the new house then. So yeah, one more episode to go from our new place, and then we start fresh in a brand new house. And yeah, I don't have any idea what's going to happen, and I am excited about it. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Thanks again for all the incredible support, and we'll see you all again in the next episode.